When you do your expeditions, you have to do a practice one first. I was a bit nervous about doing it, but I was also excited. We had to meet up before our practice expedition and do some planning, which wasn't that hard, because when you're on a river it's pretty hard to get lost, unlike when you're walking and you can end up absolutely anywhere. This is us just about to head off for our practice expedition. On the first night of our expedition we had a barbecue. Our campsites were really nice and one of them had stunning views of the river. We each had barrels to put our stuff in and to keep it dry, and during the day when we were canoeing the barrels would just sit in the middle of the boat and we take out the stuff that we want for that day, like sun cream and lunch and stuff, and we put them in dry bags which would just sit next to us on the canoe. When we were doing our training we found a paddle in the river, and then when we were doing our practice expedition we decided to decorate it with nail varnish. The guys ended up painting their nails and they had so much fun, it was quite worrying. Along the river there is so much to see and so much wildlife, including goats, cows, chickens, would you believe it? There's herons and there's so much fish. There's so much wildlife. You come across some interesting and beautiful places along the river too. There's stunning surroundings and peaceful scenery. It's so great to see. The towns are fun to go through. There's always other boats and other people on the river to meet. On our practice expedition we canoed on the River Severn and it was a really nice river. The final expedition is basically the same as the practice. We did our final expedition on the River Wye and it takes about 5 hours to get there, and the journey seems to go on forever, but when we did get there we set up camp and we just chilled out before we went to bed. We put our canoes in at Whitney Inn and then paddled to the campsite called Bycross Farm. The next day we paddled from Bycross Farm to a posh campsite and it was a really long day. We were all so tired afterwards. The campsite was huge and was packed. The facilities were great and the campsite was really nice. It got dark really quickly, so we started filming and having a laugh in the tents before we went to sleep. The next morning we got up really early so that our day seemed a bit shorter. We paddled through the day and we got to our final campsite, which was called the White Lion Pub, and we camped in the pub's garden. We got there at about 4 PM and we set up camp, and then we walked into town, which was so pretty. The next day I was in a bad mood, mainly because I hadn't slept properly.
Put your paddle on the boat!
Everybody else seemed to be in a good mood and was just excited about finishing. We went down Simmons Jack Rock and then met our assessor again.
Hi, I'm Nick Goodall. I'm a DofE assessor. Been assessing a gold group on the River Wye and they've done very well. Apparently I'm really scary, or assessors are really scary, so I don't think we particularly are. What I have to do is come down, meet a group, see them maybe 2 or 3 times a day at most, and just make sure that they're adhering to the 20 conditions. So, and this group have done really well and have had a really good paddle, and with nice weather to finish with as well.
He told us that we had passed, so we were all in a good mood for the final push of our expedition.
We passed. We passed? Yeah. He told us all that we passed.
Good.
When we got to the destination we were exhausted and John brought us some cakes. Looking back at the expedition, I'm proud at what I've achieved. It was tough, but fun at the same time. Now that the expedition's over, we just need to finish the other parts of our award before we can go and collect it. When you collect your award, you usually collect it at St James's Palace, which is usually in the winter months, or Buckingham Palace, which is usually in the summer months and includes a garden party. Once I have my award, it's something that I'm going to put on my CV. The Duke of Edinburgh Award is well recognised and employers are keen on people with the award because it shows that the individual is hard-working and doesn't give up and is up for a challenge. Are you up to the challenge? Go for gold and make it fun by choosing canoeing for your expedition.